Hey guys, happy Monday. Thanks for stopping by for another video here at alliseeisW, where the goal of this channel is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. In today's video, we'll be doing a deep dive analysis covering Opendoor Technologies, ticker Open, what my price prediction is using technical analysis, and we'll be covering the latest updates that we're hearing about Opendoor for the Open Army community. Now, if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. Let's begin, guys.
Not yet at that 82 target Eric wanted, but I think, yeah,
It's good.
The story, though, I think is important in that it was so smart to get the Shopify exec because if you think about, again, it's all down to execution, but very similar running a small business as a merchant. Similar sort of challenge in that you have all of these disparate tasks and things working at the same time. So with selling a house, you got the legal piece, you got an inspection. And in the way Shopify's brilliance is just an ecosystem of things you kind of plug in and play, and it's all right there, and it all works together. And then you have all the data in one place.
Yeah, I mean that's also like we're talking about the business front, like the macro front. Like there's so many tailwinds for Opendoor. Like the rates are coming down.
Yeah.
What essentially you're going to see on not just Opendoor but the whole theme on housing is rates down, volumes up, spread expands. So I think that they have a macro tailwind that is going to give them a bump, and if they're going to actually shift corporate strategies to become this asset light, agent led, like platform pitch, it's coming with the right time of that because now there's lower capital intensity. There's going to be more fee income potentially, and there's going to be a lot better ROIC, like return of invested capital, in the space where they did improve profitability even when housing was booming. Like they're just so bloated.
Yeah.
But you got the founders back on board. You have a platform CEO. They could do it. Like I'm rooting for them.
Eric Jackson posts he got to meet Eric Trump tonight and discuss how much the Open Army is a fan. He said he's been following the campaign and wants to let everyone know he wants us to get it going. And thank you. Lovely photo between Open Army General Eric Jackson and Eric Trump. Mind Dump posts he just posted this. Not sure how much bullish it can get for Open. What better way to position your portfolio for the incoming rate cuts? So Trump posted too late, must cut interest rates now and bigger than he had in mind. Housing will soar, President DJT. So we're not bullish enough. Wednesday, we're going to have rate cuts incoming. Let's take a look at this post. So remember, he's literally working for full until Open hits $33. That's ultimate conviction. Congratulations to Kaz, the new CEO, starting day one at Opendoor Technologies. You know, I think this is going to be a nice transformational shift towards revamping the company and leading the company towards becoming an AI-based real estate app where buyers and sellers for homes can really have that, conveniency, solving the biggest problem that we have today, and that's in real estate. Anthony Pompliano posts the insiders are buying, the executives are taking performance pay packages. What do the Open directors and management know? Opendoor director and previous CEO Eric Wu acquires 451,000 shares for $4 million with an average cost of like $6.50. That tells you something. Things are brewing right now, and we're just going to continue to see Opendoor climb up. Nugget posts Rabos hints that surprises could be in store for shareholders. Thank you, to be here with the Open Army, history in the making. So Keith, he posted, aside from rapid improvements fundamentally in the business, I believe Rabois and Canada Cas have a few surprises planned for shareholders. I believe they are very grateful for the support from the Open Army. BNG Capital posts, today, there was a big whale that bought $28.6 million worth of Opendoor stock. That tells you something. Something's brewing, and there's huge conviction plays right now. And for those reasons, I think Opendoor is just going to continue to climb and climb as it gets to 82 and then triple digits. Eric Jackson, just posted a DM message. Someone's asking, is it too late to buy now? he responded, it's not $82. So $82 is a celebration point, similar to like when Bitcoin got to 100K. But I think for Opendoor, it's going to be much faster. And there's a big use case right now just with Opendoor technologies. Let's take a look at technical analysis of Opendoor. So we're looking at open on the monthly candle. What are we seeing? Back in 2021, this was a $40 stock. It's been just dropping since then, been bleeding out. What has happened since? We see whales loading up. We see, increase in volume just with the last couple of weeks, and price has gone up. I mean, it surpassed $10 last week. It's consolidating right now, but this is a good sign showing the progression, the volume increase, as well as wells increasing. Financial institutions are buying, Goldman Sachs, even Anthony Pompliano, Rob Snyder, even Eric Trump is now seeing the value of Opendoor. Open Army is going global. They're getting bigger, louder, and stronger. And I think, this company is going to be like the next Palantir. Let's take a look at the daily, candles. You'll give us more of a zoomed in perspective. So from July to September, we see whales loading up. What are we seeing on the bullish bearish indicator? Anytime when we see a red candle on the RCYC technicals, and we see it coupled with purple, that gives us insight that we're on this bullish trajectory. And where we are today, in fact, today, volume kicked into gears right at, market opening. So much volume. We saw price going up to like 13%. In fact, it got to like, high $10.50. Got to pull back towards the end. In fact, it ended in the plus single digit gains, 4.69%, not bad, even though we saw it, in double digit range. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out as we look at through the rest of, the week. We got FOMC meeting on Wednesday. It'll be interesting to see how things pan out. But overall, I think, just things are going to be very bullish, in the rest of the year as well as heading into 2026. I think Opendoor, they have a compelling story. They're solving a big problem. The technicals are showing whales are loading up, and this is looking bullish, just from a long-term perspective. Let's take a look at just more intraday type of investing, where we are right now, just based on the activity that we're seeing. One thing to keep in mind, back in July, relative strength when it, peaked to like $5 before a pullback, RSI was overbought. It got up to 94. Obviously, you need a cool down after that. It went from, $5 getting to the new support level, 168. RSI cooled off, and then it started climbing up to the next level, 597. At that point, RSI was overbought. It had to create a new support around $4, and then it climbed up to, $7. And, what are we seeing now? Everything happens just with a J-shaped trajectory. Where we are right now, RSI at 82. I think that, this week might be a week where we consolidate, let the RSI cool down a bit before it starts gapping up. I think next week, following next week, we may very well start climbing into the direction of, getting into that $14 to $20 range. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see consolidation period, just in the next, 4 days or so. But overall, the upside is going to be 14.20 as we head through the rest of the year. We can definitely see Opendoor start climbing into, the $30 to $60 range. And as we scale out through to 2026, in fact, even before that, we may very well even get to $82. Long term, I definitely do see the use case with Opendoor being like the next Carvana of real estate. We see Carvana right now at, $300 plus. So there's no reason for Opendoor not to get to those levels as well. The fact that, Kaz, he's not even getting payments right now until he brings the stock price up to $30, only getting paid $1 a year. That shows the bullish sentiment from someone from Shopify coming over to Opendoor as a CEO.
Hey guys, day 28, back in the six, best city in the world. I think New York's the greatest city in the world, but I would say Toronto, North York, best city in the world, my hometown. I just want to say happy birthday to Kaz. Today is the first day that he starts work as our Travis for Opendoor. Today is also the first day that Keith starts as chairman for Opendoor. So exciting things ahead. We are really excited. We're just getting started. Got into a bit of a Twitter battle over the weekend with the folks from GameStop. Everybody always talks about GameStop as this big success. You know, GameStop was like a 20x from the bottom to the peak. And Opendoor is a 20x now from the carry June 25th lows till now. And we're just getting started. This is Kaz's first day. This is Keith's first day. So Open Army, stick with us. We're just getting started. We are still outside the gates, but we are knocking. We want to come in. Drake, open those gates. Let the Open Army in.
So there you heard it from Eric Jackson. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your comments are, how high you think Opendoor will be going in the rest of 2025, where you're watching from, what feedback you have. I read through all the comments. Thanks, guys.